Hey friends, me Jenny here, and today I had a question from one of my viewers from Twitch, and I figured that I would make a video and answer it so that everyone can hear what I have to say about this one. Thought it was a great question on my Discord. My friend named GrailBomb92 asks, quick question Jenny, when you started streaming, how did you interact with the stream when there were no viewers watching? So relatable for any new streamer. You might find out that no one's going to be there for a while and it'll take time to grow your viewership. So when I first started streaming, and honestly I've had my channel for about 5 years, but most of that time was spent just as a viewer, and then over the last year or so I had finally a consistent stream schedule. I would say that in the beginning there was like rarely very many viewers, and like I was lucky to get just like 2 or 3 viewers at a time. I would say that any kind of narration that you can come up with while you're playing, whether it's describing the game that you're playing, what you like about it, the game design, the game art, your strategy for moving forward in the game, any type of details or logistics that come along with the territory, like I would pretend that there was people in chat and imagine like, well, okay, if I just showed up to this stream randomly and was like looking for some kind of entertainment, what would I be looking for? And what I find to be the most engaging, even if I'm not interacting as a viewer in chat, I might still be observing and lurking in a stream and listening to how that person is experiencing the game that they're playing, or if it's a creative stream, then the art that they're making. So as an aspiring game developer, one thing that I always look for is just engagement, like monologuing. You can practice monologuing. And I only took a couple acting classes in high school. I never got really good at drama or anything, probably because I was so shy back in the day. But now that I'm an adult and kind of trying to make up for lost time and be a little bit more of an extrovert, streaming is definitely helpful with that. And after having enough streams with people in chat engaging me, I got a little bit more natural, I think, with engaging the chat, or the imaginary chat that hopefully will accumulate over time and in the future. I would look at it for myself, like from a game developer's perspective, like what makes this game interesting, like what makes the art beautiful or captivating, or what makes me excited to learn about the characters in the game. A lot of the games that I'll play are story-based, so that's another idea, is that if you maybe aren't good at talking to an imaginary chat just yet, you could play a game that's more of a narrative, and then you can practice your voice acting skills if there's characters in the game that you can narrate, because there's a lot of dialogue that can be really fun. Like a dating simulator, you can try to practice voice acting skills with the different characters and take your own spin on their personalities. Or, I mean, I can find it hilarious if I hear, you know, a guy impersonating their interpretation of a female character. Like a lot of the dating simulator games will give you funny circumstances to imagine what they're going to be like and stuff. Game analysis is another one. I always like to point out the different things about game art that I love, or if it's a classic AAA game, then I'll usually point out the stuff that makes it unique and enjoyable. If it's an indie game that I'm playing, I'll usually go out of my way to point out details about either the game development team or the voice actors that were on the team, or even though I like to do blind playthroughs for games, often I'll look up some fun facts like on the Wikipedia for the game, or try to learn some things about the game so that I can tell people about what's interesting or different about it. And often I'll find really interesting facts about the team or the actors, or different game studios have their own methods for creating games. So that type of stuff is actually interesting to me, and I'll do research either before I start a game or after I've played it a couple times and I find out, I love this game, I'm going to play through the whole thing on stream. So that's a huge commitment. Sometimes that's like an 80-hour commitment, so I'll go and find different details about a game. For example, Horizon Zero Dawn, Assassin's Creed Origins. I played so many hours of these games on stream it's really cool to find out like different fun facts, if not from the Wikipedia. Quite often, or when people do start showing up in your chat, they might enlighten you about different facts about the game. But it's cool to come to the table and have some of those details already prepared to share and talk about and just kind of ramble on, because as a viewer, sometimes I don't have time to, type in chat, and I may be looking to watch a stream or listen to a stream as a secondary thing that I'm doing. I might be cleaning my room or working on the computer, answering emails and stuff, but I can still listen to a stream in the background. So a lot of the time I'll be interacting as a passive engagement, and I'll literally be listening as if it's a podcast or something, and then I'll jump back to my tab and see what's actually happening in the game. If the streamer is talking about something interesting that's happening in the storyline or whatever. So you can imagine, some viewers may actually just be listening, in which case if you're not talking about anything, then it's probably going to be pointless for them to be there at all. So narration about what you're doing in the game. You can even talk about how to play a game. Like sometimes I want to try a new game, like Fortnite I started playing recently, and at first I didn't know that it would be my type of game, but over time I found all these different little tricks on how to be successful at playing that game, and like strategy is one, like different ways, like even the controls, like which controls are good for the game, or like if you use shortcuts, or if you remap your keys to make it easier for you to play a game and to succeed, then I would be interested as a viewer or a player to learn like those different things. So even if no one's in chat, you can still talk about what is going to make the game more pleasurable to play or easier for someone to play. Like which keys you would map to which buttons or keys. For example, like in Fortnite, I think the default is letter Y to use the mic for push to talk, but I found that V was a lot easier, so I would just press V is a lot closer to my left hand on the keyboard. Some games are a lot easier to play on console or with a PC controller instead. So if there's any details, like I find this game to be easier with console and this is why, and you could ramble about that for 20 minutes. Just practicing talking to yourself as if you are a listener, and practice engaging with the camera. Well, that's another good one. Different big time streamers and YouTubers are really good at looking at the camera, which I think new streamers are not necessarily good at yet, because if you don't have that practice talking to the camera as if it's another person or a few people, like you can imagine that your friends or your family or someone that you're already really comfortable with is on the other end of the camera. So while you're streaming, even if there's no one there, you can practice looking at the camera, talking to the camera, and interacting with the camera as if, even for when you go back and watch your old videos, then you can analyze yourself and see how to improve. And for myself, I found out if I look at the camera more often, like even if I'm in battle in stream while playing a game or something, any chance I get to like look at the camera and talk to my audience, and don't forget to acknowledge that there's people there, even if there aren't many or any people there just yet. You don't actually know for sure, because sometimes the numbers are kind of off, or they take a while to update. There could be someone there lurking for a while before you see the numbers change. Similarly, I've noticed, like, I'll go to host someone, it'll say I'm hosting with 20 people when I know there was only actually 10 people in my chat, at least to my knowledge. So just goes to show that sometimes the numbers aren't totally accurate, and I think a lot of people, they'll pop in and then pop out if they're not immediately engaged. I think I heard it's like usually 30 seconds that you have to win someone over. So as long as you're talking, doing something, engaging, you can even talk about your day. Sometimes I'll practice like video blogging while I'm streaming. Before anyone gets there, I'll just start talking about what I did that day, or what my current goals are for the week or the month, or in stream or in real life. I know a lot of people, they have different ways of communicating. Like some people will have an entirely different character for their stream, but for me, I'd say a lot of the interest in my stream is that I'm mostly myself, and it's an opportunity for me to connect with friends around the world, make new friends, and share a piece of myself that you know, my day-to-day experience as a gamer or a game developer, as a creative person that's always hoping to improve myself. And so yeah, anything about yourself that you can share, or I guess if you're developing a character for your stream, you can practice that character that you're developing. When you're new, it's kind of like unsure territory, because if you're just learning about all those things, then it's in that respect, it's like a work in progress that you get to share with your viewers, and who knows, maybe they get to help shape who you become as a streamer. So yeah, that's what I would have to say about what to do if there's not any viewers in the chat. Just pretend like there are, and imagine that there are, because like people pop in and out and stuff, so you never know who might host you. I guess there's always like that mystery behind the experience that you may not know, is that unsureness that could surprise you down the line. So I hope that answers your question, friend, and if anyone else enjoyed this video, I hope that you stay tuned or come and say hello when I'm live. And if anyone has any questions, you can always tweet me. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Discord, all that good stuff. And there's links on my Twitch channel and on my YouTube as well. So jennynexus.com is my official website, and I'll talk to you soon, friends. Bye!